Hello, everyone. Hello, Eurovision fam. It's Alesia Michelle, and I'm not alone today, which is always fun. I've got
Mm.
two special guests, and we're going to be talking about all things the results of Melodifestivalen Deltävling 2.
Come
um,
on,
so,
Swedish. Yes.
so go on and introduce yourselves for folks here.
Hey everyone, it's Michal here, founder of Eurovision Hub.
Hey, it's Jan. It's former head of delegation of Czech Republic and nowadays a vlogger like rookie.
All right, so let's just kick off and talk about, I guess, the good news of today
Mhm.
that most people are going to say is good news. Daughter is direct to final. Everyone is excited about it. Michal and I kind of talked about it, but Jan, what are your thoughts on Little Tot? I'm sure you have thoughts.
Yeah, I had thoughts. I I think it's a better song than last year, Bulletproof. Kind of when I was listening to studio version of the song. Uh, you know, I didn't expect anything from it because I think that the singer, it's not that vocally great. That in my opinion, if I'm just choosing, for ESCZ format like this, and from perspective from Czech Republic, which we have it a bit harder by tradition, I wouldn't choose her because I would be afraid that, well, I would feel wrong that I pick someone who just can't do this every second note a good one. Maybe that's a bit harsh, but that was my producer's feeling. But I
Yeah,
understand that the show.
yeah, no, Michal, what do you think? I mean, how are you feeling? Daughter is direct to final. I think this is the big news coming out tonight, so we should just start off with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm delighted for her as well, because like I said on our last live stream, it was such a risk to come out third time round, but after Bulletproof, and come back with something completely different. So many people were maybe expecting to have Bulletproof 2.0. So I admire her as an artist and a person for making that bold move and coming out with something different. And I think it really paid off. I'm just gutted that we don't get to hear it again for another 3 weeks. My Spotify is going to really look forward to that. um, I don't think vocally she was as bad as Jan said. I think she's got a nice voice. It's a different tone. It's not like your usual thick vocal. But we know at Melfest they do allow the pre-recorded vocal, so it could be interesting to see how that translated on a Eurovision stage. So in that sense, I do get what you mean. Like how much would she rely on the background vocals and everything? But I don't think Little Tot is going to Rotterdam. I think it's going to smash the Spotify charts across Europe. I think it's gonna elevate her career. And I'm just happy that we have her in the final. And I think I'm more happy for her because there's always a risk coming back after what she came second last year with a single point. So I'm happy for her. What about you, Alicia?
Yeah, so for me, I think I feel, and I think I said this last week. I will say that Little Tot has been like stuck in my head, legitimately stuck in my head. So the song has kind of grown a little bit from that first listen that I had on Thursday. I do think Bulletproof might have had an edge at Eurovision a little bit, but this is my fear with Little Tot, and this has always been my fear, I think, with Daughter representing Sweden at Eurovision, especially this year. We've got a strong cool girl pop group. We've got like a strong contention of cool girl singers, and I wonder about Little Tot being the song that will stand out.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm a
think.
bit curious about like this kind of drama we have here, with the mamas as well, and I think it might like predicted that it can happen. I didn't know the song before I did it, but I'm actually glad that she's making it in the final. Even I said what I said because for the drama, it's a story. I think the story is a good thing.
Well, it's crazy because I think the story that they've been pushing on us is this Eric versus Danny narrative that, like, honestly, like I don't care about that at all. Like I just like, who cares? And really that shouldn't be the story. I think that, yeah, it's not really the story, but maybe in Sweden I think that that's the narrative that they're pushing. But I think my fear for daughter is just, I think Victoria might have something stronger. I actually think Montaigne might end up having something stronger. And that's my fear for daughter, is I'm thinking about Eurovision.
I'm not really sure Swedes really think like this, you know. As I said, today's show, and I was like, okay, this they like show. I think they like show over the music, and that I think that's the problem of Sweden in general, which they will suffer getting better results that they want, and they want to win each year. But I think they're lacking of, they have this like music problem, in my opinion. Then the whole package, they can do it, but they just miss the song, I think, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, so I just wanted to reset the room, so to speak. Hello, everyone. You are joining the live stream. It's Alesia Michelle. It's my channel, so you know why you're here. We're talking about Melfest and the results that just happened. And really, we've only spoken about daughter. But one thing I want to bring up, because we've got a comment here. And I want to pull up the comment. and basically, what do y'all think about the staging? Because we kind of talked about this before, and I was curious how other people might feel about daughter staging, because I think that the issue that I've seen with Eurovision folks when it comes to judging Sweden is, I think that some of the production can maybe lose a little bit of the heart. And I think with Little Tot, we're definitely getting way more production, you know, as far as the show goes on stage. And I think there was a little bit of like raw indie artists still in daughter last year with Bulletproof. Like, it's still, you know, she was by herself on the stage kind of owning it. And this time it's like very commanding performance, much like what I thought Anna brought to Melodifestivalen last year.
Yeah. I mean, I like the stage, and I like that, you know, she came back with this attitude of, you know, here I am, this is my second time around, not my redemption as such, but I'm here to compete. And I like that she did bring a polished TV production for us on the night. But I do know that Sweden gets criticized for their lack of heart or lack of feeling. But my feeling that I got from her performance tonight was that I'm here and I want to win, and me and my team are here to do a competitive job. So, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be vulnerable or anything like that. As long as you feel something, that's what I felt. What about you, John?
Yeah. I kind of agree. I even think it was a better staging kind of than Bulletproof, in the way of how she performed, because the Bulletproof was made for this effect, kind of, that in my eyes was made that all we need to show that those laser beams, you know, kind of, that's just the shortcut how to say it. But that was my, like, that was the thing I just saw from it. And today was more about herself, I think, how she expressed herself, you know. I think the dancers around was the effect they're just using. For me, it wasn't necessary to have them there, especially how they appeared. Like, I saw it a million times, nothing original. But herself, her energy was great. That for sure.
Yeah, so I think one thing, I don't know if we want to transition away from daughter, but ultimately daughter made it through. I think that was the big thing people were hanging their hats on, like, will she be able to go direct to final again? And she did it. Okay, so let's move on. I think I want to hop around a little bit. Let's move on to, I think, because I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time talking about it, but let's just talk about our upset today, because I have an upset
Me too,
today.
yeah.
And I'm just going to go ahead and get it out of the way. Patrik John not going Honor Hansen or direct to final, to me, is a crime. And I find it extremely troubling. And it does make me sort of change my frame of like what comes next a little bit, because what it shows me of those songs that have like qualified direct to the final, and even from last week at Melodifestivalen, I'm wondering if Sweden is going to begin having a love affair with their young pop boys again. That's my fear a little bit. So I'm just going to leave it there. I feel really like I almost cried, but I had just put mascara on. And so I didn't want to be like a mess for this. but like, I'm not even gonna lie, I legitimately might cry tonight, and shed a little tear. And yeah, I said, so Don says, do you think him being a newcomer had something to do with it? I think it's possible. I think there's a lot of heavy hitters at Melodifestivalen this year, so I definitely think it's possible. Achnick says Patrick was very over polished, but yeah, Rob,
No.
I don't know. I don't know if I felt like it was over polished, but but I'll let y'all get to it. And then Hepelo says Patrick just didn't have the name recognition, which is important for Sweden, and I do agree with that. But yeah, so Patrick not qualifying is definitely one of the crimes, because there's multiple crimes, honestly, that happened at Melodifestivalen tonight, but that's the first one I'll go ahead and share.
Yeah, I went into this semi-final thinking that I knew how everything was going to go. You know, we spoke 2 days ago. We thought it was going to be Frida, Patrik, Anton, and daughter. It just seems so predictable. So I'm shocked. Like, when it came down to Anton and Patrik, I love Anton, but I was like, I hope that Patrick's message and what he did with the staging and his bravery and his honesty and his story translated to the viewers. And I'm absolutely gutted for him that it didn't, because I just love it. First of all, when a newcomer debuts with such a strong song and performance, and like you said, Alesia, he's not signed to any of these major labels, and he's out here representing for those smaller labels and the smaller artists. And I just said he did an amazing job. Like, he was out there being vulnerable, giving heart, giving feeling, and that's what people say they want Sweden to do. So this could have been fantastic for Sweden's new narrative at Eurovision. You know, we are polished, but we can give you feeling and a story. And I don't know, I just wanted this to be his time in this new narrative, but I'm gutted for him. I really wanted this platform. It's important still for people like Patrik to tell his story on such a huge platform, and I'm gutted that it won't advance and more people won't see it. But
yeah, like for me, this wasn't a bit like big disappointment, because I wasn't that astonished by this song. As for me, it was uncomfortable a bit to look at the staging. I just didn't get it, why it's so much made like this, and I didn't even feel the story of it, because I'm normally not focusing on what's sung in the lyrics. I just just go with the feeling first, and if I like the song, I then focus on more things in it. And when it wasn't bad, it was vocally kind of good, but it just didn't, it wasn't a robbery for me, especially when he got to have a second chance, I think. So did he? Did I understand the format well? No, he didn't.
He's out.
Yeah, he's
out.
He's out. Oh, okay. That's a robbery, but that's not the only one robbery. I think this or today happened.
For me, so let's talk about let's go on. So that was the crime that I felt, to me, but there were multiple crimes. I'm not gonna lie. So Jan, what was a crime that you feel went down on the stage today?
Yeah, well, for me, was definitely, I have a notes in here. I had to read it because I don't remember those names. You know, I just to make all of you viewers sure. For me, all of those names are unknown, kind of. So for me, it doesn't really matter if they're known or unknown. I just make them how I see it. So that's a bit different. I'm not Swede, so for me, it's a very different perspective. But for me, the crime was Julia, because for me, it was the best performance, not just of the night, but for the whole Melodifestivalen this year.
Oh, wait.
Because her life was awesome, her staging was awesome, and I was really as well glad that she didn't have dancers there, as it wasn't cliche. It was just made for her. She was super strong. She was one of not most vocally very, very well, and not overproduced back vocals behind. And I loved it because it was a bit of original, it was current, and it was rich. How's the name of the song? And I was super surprised it didn't just, it was just killed at the beginning of it. And I was like, what the hell? What Sweden really once if they killed this. But that's my point of view, of course.
Okay,
I love that.
Michal,
I
you
mean, I mean, I just think it's so interesting that we have such diverse perspectives
Yeah,
on it, because me and Alesia would maybe look at it as, she's come from P4 Nasta, which is like a separate competition to get into Melfest, and those songs are usually quite weak. I don't know. I found the song, this is my thing about Sweden. They don't realize that they're one of the biggest exporters of pop music in the world, and they don't need to look afield, and they don't need to look at other artists. I felt that Julia's song sounded a little too similar to Lord, that cool vibe Royals. They straight up introduced her song as a Royal Lord type song. And for me, I'm just put off instantly. I know we do like the introduction of mainstream and commercial songs, but that doesn't mean we literally find a song and copy it.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm glad that she has the support from, I can see in the chat, and I'm glad that you liked it. I think it's so interesting that as a non-Melfest, follower, that she stood out. I think that's so interesting, really.
okay, y'all being real nice, okay?
They are.
Yeah, no, and y'all know. I mean, you come here because I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm gonna share my opinion. And I don't think that we have to agree. The song was far too derivative. I think the staging where you have like random people's faces behind you, really for no reason. There's no story like with those random faces. Like, were all those faces of people in Julia's life? Like, were these like kids at a school that was like a special school? Like, were they affected? Like, to me, it was just random faces in the background. And I find those things to be distracting when we're focusing on the person
That's
on
curious. Yeah,
the
that's
stage,
nice.
unless there's a story. Like I've seen performances where we have like the chorus of people behind you, but then we there's a story. Like, are these people like poor and they're really rich? And so Julia's talking about like how like, no, like we're rich, or like, it just, I find it distracting. And I think just the derivativeness of the song was the thing. But I will say, to be fair, when I was doing my preview, I like a lot of her other stuff. Like, she's probably the P4 Nasta artist I was most curious about, like, as opposed to any of the rest of them, because the past discography I really liked. So I was kind of curious to see what was going to be served. But the minute that we were served this song, I wasn't really surprised. I
Yeah, the
actually,
praise.
sorry, I see people talking about her styling. I don't know about the green color, but I liked the styling. I wouldn't have chosen that color though, but I liked the styling. Sorry, Michal.
And I was just gonna say, when you do something so similar to another song or another sound, it's a bit too transparent, and you kind of feel like, oh, they don't really think we're going to buy this, do they? But I do have to say that out of recent years, it's my favorite P4 Nasta track. I said it on Thursday, and I'll say it again. It's the one that didn't scream kind of wild card to me or anything like that. I do think it was a credible P4 Nasta entry. But yeah, I wouldn't have said it's a robbery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
So,
the.
oh no, I was gonna say any other. So, Michal, you haven't presented a crime yet. So I don't know. You might be good, but is there a crime that you see? Because I feel like there were multiple, so we could keep going.
Crimes. My crime is Patrik Jean. Like I said, I'm a big Anton fan. I love his showmanship. I love what he can do on stage. I love the attention to detail that he has in his choreography, how he executes his performances. I love that in an artist. Vocally, I think Patrik Jean was so much stronger. But Sweden were voting differently. So Patrik Jean not getting to the final was my robbery. I can't even, about the grannies, I can't even, because I had a smile on my face the whole way through. So I don't even think that them advancing to Anders Hansen is even a robbery, because like we said, we want to feel something from a performance, even if it's joy, and I did. So I'm not sure I have a robbery. What are the other ones you guys think?
Yeah, I just got one note in here written that as speaking as derivative, speaking of Patrik Jean, I was like Sam Smith revival, kind of. That was my first thing which I wrote because it was too similar. But as I said, the song is kind of nice. I just didn't get the staging. I didn't understand why there are Hawaii dancers in there. Just didn't got it. It was too cliche for me, maybe. But it was a good song. It was one of the best songs actually today. So it's okay that it just got the second chance.
Yeah. I don't know if it was cliche. I think it was very unique, especially for Melfest. I don't think
For Melfest, yeah.
For Melfest, I don't think we've seen enough of that. And I was so excited that this was the chance for viewers to see that. And like I said, the possibility of this vulnerable Sweden coming to Eurovision with heart and being real, you know. And I'd like to see more of that, like throughout the national selection. That representation. We don't see enough of it, and I just admired him as a person and an artist for what he did and what he brought to Melfest, and I really think that we'll remember that. I will anyway, and I'd love to see more of it.
So I'm going to bring up Anton because, you know, as much as, and you know, I appreciate Anton. I wanted Anton to advance, but he is serving us, to be fair, because I do it to everybody else. So I'm going to have to do it to him. That vocal performance was like kind of unforgivable. It was kind of unforgivable. And so, you know, if I was going to go on Kadiatu last week with the lazy flat vocals, I got to go in with Anton. Now, to be fair, Anton is performing on stage. So it's one thing when you're kind of standing in place, you know, lazy dancing and you can't hit your notes. That's one thing. But he's serving other things. So I will give him a slight pass. However, given the rest of the makeup of the results and kind of given what happened last week, I wonder if we're going to have a return of the good-looking Swedish guy singing a well-produced pop track go to Eurovision. I'm just a little bit nervous because last year there was definitely a vibe in the water that was not going to happen. And it was even kind of made clear when we looked at the results that it was like, no, it's definitely going to end up being a female artist. This year, I am I'm nervous. I don't think that Anton is going to win. And I will say, if it is going to be a good-looking Swedish guy singing a well-produced pop track, I would prefer it be Danny Saucedo because at least we could get something in Swedish. You know, I would prefer that. And I would prefer that for Sweden in thinking of like competitiveness at Eurovision. But, you know, I saw a lot of folks who were like, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll just pause right there. Yeah, what are y'all feeling about Anton? I know how you feel, Michal, but Jan, what are you thinking about Anton?
Yeah, I don't really well. I agree with the voice problem, vocal problems. The thing is that I don't even say that I would. I just write a note in here. Well, bad vocals, great choreography, which for me was a bit like winning thing because he can sell himself. It was great choreography. It was great filmed. So the television really helped because he was dancing, the camera was dancing, the editing was dancing, everything was dancing just right. It should be, and was one of the best things I really love on Melodifestivalen, especially on Swedish production, how they do things, how they create things which are actually not there and masking things, how they can do the best in a best polished way, which even looks natural. It's more good how they do it, and I think they show it especially at this act. But the vocal, I wouldn't say it's a singer, kind of, you know. It was like I think it's as well, again, harsh a bit, but it wasn't singing as well. It's for me, it was a second act to pass through from this heat because it got something different. It got charisma. He's great at camera. I enjoyed watching it because I just liked how it looked, not how it sounded, and the other thing, they didn't overuse the back vocals for him, so they can still help him kind of because they didn't help him at all.
Well, hold up, wait. Yeah, the backing vocals weren't really helping him. And I do agree that they should help him. However, I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up. I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up. But there were moments where he was Victor Croning it hard. And by that, I mean lip syncing at the end. Like there were moments where, I mean, if we had like the just vocal track, like recordings that come out sometimes, you know, there will be moments where we hear silence.
Yeah. And you can you can actually, yeah. And you can saw that.
Yeah. And I mean, and I'm not saying that to be like shady or anything. Like these are facts. Like we're only speaking fact based. And ultimately, I did want Anton to advance. I did want Anton to advance. I mean, of the songs and the semi and the performances, I was like, yeah. And I mean, look, I love Young Blood, you know, by Five Sauce. So, you know, I was definitely going to be into New Religion.
I'm dying. No, I'm going to give Anton a bit of love. You know, he was one of the artists I was most excited about when I heard that he was coming back, because I loved Begging. I loved his Natural song. And he gave me what I wanted from him. He gave us the best of Begging and Natural, put it together, and here is 2021 Anton. He's a dancer first and foremost before a singer. Nobody should get free passes, but that explains it. And vocally, yes, he was carried along by the track, but if you were doing that choreography as well, you would need a bit of support, and it's not uncommon. You know, it's not uncommon. Sometimes you just don't see the backing singers. So yeah, I did love the performance. I thought that is how you open a Melfest semi-final, not like One Touch last week. You know, we have to be fair. We said about Kariatsu's vocals, but at least Anton was doing something. She was like, come on, girl, give us nothing. But he was like, hitting every move, so beautifully executed with such intricate choreography that he makes look so effortless with the lasers. And I'm happy for him. I'm delighted, because I don't even think that he thought he was going through.
No.
Yeah.
He did not think he was going through. I definitely think that he did not think he was going through. And I will just throw up this one comment. So the view about a male chosen in the end is just a stupid way to say you're not placing the song first. So first of all, you must be new to my channel, and I haven't seen you comment before. I always place the song over the artist. But let's be real. If you watch Eurovision, it is clear that Eurovision voters as a whole are not feeling Sweden sending a dude. Like, and that's all that I'm referencing. That doesn't really have anything to do with me personally, because to be honest, I love Dance You Off from Benjamin and Grosso. Yeah. I was really upset that it got like the crap televote that it did, because I don't think that it was deserved at all, personally. But I think that the populace wants to see Sweden do something different. And ultimately, because Eurovision didn't happen last year, they didn't get an opportunity to see Sweden do something different. And I would hate for a song and artist and performance to be written off just off the basis that it's a dude. That is actually what I'm saying.
I don't actually agree on it. I don't really think that the general audience really think like this, and they remember this. They, like most people that are watching it, and that I think
agree,
our bubble.
But I think with Sweden is different, and because I would say that with a lot of stuff, but it is very clear. I mean, when you look at these like scores, it is very clear that there is something going on in like the populace where people are having, I think, somewhat of a Sweden pop fatigue. I'm not saying I'm one of those people, obviously, because I'm watching Melodifestivalen.
That's what I got. That's what I got. But I think that the thing is that they're doing still the same thing, kind of all the time. And that what we were talking about as well. It's just too perfect. Or I was talking about it's too perfect. They're just great in what they're doing. But it's too polished, too great, and there's always another countries which there is maybe more about heart, and that's what I don't agree as well. That for me is the artist is more important than the song, because the artist is selling the song. If there's a great song and the artist can sell it, well, it doesn't really work. So the artist is
agree.
the one.
No,
Maybe that's the
that is
Swedish
true.
problem.
No, that is true. I mean, ultimately, yeah. I mean, because I mean, look, we've had great songs delivered poorly, or it wasn't the right. I mean, ultimately, Eurovision is the package. Okay, we haven't even gotten down. So, you know, I'll just throw it out there. You know, we knew the grannies had a chance of qualifying. Like, you know, and moving on.
Yeah.
Like, we knew that that was a possibility. Ultimately, I was hoping, personally, I was hoping that that wouldn't happen, but I was hoping that that wouldn't happen mostly because I really was hoping that both Frida and Patrik would have the chance really to advance, just because I'm thinking about it for them and their artistry and kind of like their future kind of career. But I did see a lot of people hating on Frida advancing. But to be honest, you know, I was pulling for Frida. I mean, I was kind of pulling for her from the beginning. And, you know, when I heard the song, it's not the song I would have given her, but I love her vocal tone. I love what she could do in the future. And I think advancing is a great way to kind of secure that future. So that's why I'm personally happy to see her advance. And I mean, look, like, I'm fine with like the grandma performance. Like, y'all know how I am about our elders. You got to throw them some points. You know what I mean? Like, you can't blank on the grannies. But I do feel like butthurt that, I mean, they definitely took the spot of someone who would have really used this platform like for their careers, you know.
Yeah, but that's the producer's problem, isn't it? Like that they gave the chance to distribute, because I like this for a traditional show like Melodifestivalen, and that there's act like this because it's kind of a tribute to those artists, you know, who are all right. The song was fun. It didn't even act like it's something different than just pure fun, you know, and I liked it. I wouldn't even ever chose it to my show, to New Year's Eve event for sure, for the show, which I will risk that it can win, you know, the whole show. It probably will not happen, but it can happen. And then what? That's just a joke, you know. And I
Yeah.
wouldn't do it. But on the other hand, you know, to be really honest, this wasn't vocally the best semifinal ever. So, like, I wasn't surprised it happened, especially after I saw who they killed first. So I kind of understand that they just made it through. So maybe for the show it's a great thing, not for the music, but for the show it's a great thing. Maybe that's a Swedish thing to do it, kind of.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah,
think it is a Swedish thing. I do think, and we even said this in our preview live stream. I do think Swedes tend to check boxes where they go like, I want one of these, I want one of these. So then that big show does have variety, and it is like a holistic show. And that I actually love. Like that, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I enjoy watching Melodifestivalen, and why some other national selections, things can get monotonous, or things can feel almost like too serious, like where Melodifestivalen truly is a show, and I love that.
It's like in Norway,
So,
the similar thing.
yeah, like you get the variety.
It's like a family show for everyone. You know, it's not just a certain demographic that watches it. And SBT does a good job at drawing in the teenagers, people our age, older people. You know, they wanna create that final lineup just to accommodate everyone. And if that does mean the grannies going through, then okay, put a smile on my face, like I said. But I'm going to echo Alesia with Patrik Sean. It would have been a fantastic platform to just propel him into the attention of more Europeans and international viewers and the Swedish public. But I'm happy for Frida. You know, the song itself, it didn't feel true to her, but I'm glad that we're getting to see more of her. And I'm glad as an artist now, this is a good launch pad going forward. I don't know if we're going to see, hey, Julia.
Hey, Julia.
Sorry, I did not know that we're starting. I just was like, wait, they're going live already? Shoo! Sorry.
I'm just talking about Frida going through.
Oh, yeah.
How are we feeling with that?
There we go.
Well, yes, Julie is our resident Swede. So can you just give us a rundown on your thoughts of, you know, Daughter going direct to final, Anton direct to final, Frida, Honor Hansen, and the grannies, Eva and Uva? Is it Eva and Uva? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Eva and Eva?
I thought it was Eva and like Uva. I don't know. Julie, you have to give us the pronunciation of the grannies. Oh, it's the same. So it's Eva and Eva, just different spelling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Eva squared. All right. So yeah, what are your thoughts on who made it through?
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are your
Sorry,
thoughts on who? Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Daughter going direct to final? Well, yeah, our direct to final folks and Honor Hansen. Just your overview.
I knew this would happen. After seeing all of it, I was like, okay, these are going to the semifinal, these are going straight to final, these are going out. I was completely right. I knew Patrik Sean weren't going to go through. And this is why. When you vote on this, you know that little heart in the corner? That's people voting on the app. And all these songs that went through were very like, they had a specific generation that would vote for them, right? The reason Daughter, I think, won this one is because she appealed to all the generations, right? Anton, the teenagers and the young adults. Frida, 40 plus. And Eva were the kids. Patrik Sean did not have that specific age group that would vote for him, if you know what I mean. He was more appeal of the general, but not specifically one generation. And that's why he didn't go through. If he would have been last week, or the coming weeks, he would have gone through 100%. So I'm not shocked by any of this. I knew this would happen. But I'm really, really happy because either if Frida or Eva would have lost, I would have been sad too. So I'm glad they both went through as well, right? And as I talked to someone after that Patrik Sean, this was not a loss for him. This is an amazing beginning. Because just being in Melfest is the biggest platform you can be on in Sweden. I mean, over 3 million people watches this show.
Yeah, that's right.
Just in Sweden, you know. And then there's everyone else, like you guys, watching in the rest of the world. So it's like this is just being in Melfest is just amazing. So
yeah, that's a great argumentation, actually. Yeah, that brings another perspective, which is maybe needed to understand as well. Like this is as well curious how big Melodifestivalen actually is. Like that's amazing. Like even here, biggest shows we are same, you know, same amount of inhabitants, like 10 million country kind of, and the biggest show can like reaching like 2 million, and that's maximum like 2 million, you know, and this is like extraordinary, like crazy. So maybe for him it's a good start of career, because I was thinking when you were talking about how much uncourageous it is, how much it's disappointing for the artist not to go through with a good song, and how demotivational it can be as well for the person.
Well, I don't know if I don't know if it's demotivational. To me,
it's probably not.
To me, what I'm saying is being able to advance, I think, solidifies things. Like, yes, being on Melodifestivalen is already a big deal. But just, I really wanted that like cement stamp for Frida and Patrik. Yeah. Personally, I wanted them both to get kind of like that stamp. That's really where I'm coming from. But again, like I said, I wasn't really surprised about the grannies qualifying, and honestly, and I wasn't surprised about Frida qualifying, because I think I was kind of telling people that I was like, not all ballads are dead on arrival. And I was like, in this ballad, there's something there. And I think even Julia said this when we chatted on Thursday, you know, and this is something I've heard from other Swedes, but that idea of watching the person performing and you feel like the heartwarmingness, like, you know, and that's what Natalie kind of didn't have last week. but that Julia, sorry, Frida naturally, I think gives off. And that was another thing. But I think it's something that I had sensed from Frida when I watched her past performances. I really, really liked her. And even though this song wasn't necessarily the vehicle I would have given her to come to Melodifestivalen, I think she sort of elevates it.
And maybe that because she wasn't that perfect. Maybe that's the thing as well. Maybe that really helped the feeling, because in the first heat, Natalie, she was really like perfect, kind of. Maybe that's as well the thing. And I liked it. Not take me wrong, but maybe that helped Frida to be like more authentic, kind of, maybe.
She felt more genuine, just in general.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah. She did so good. Can I just say something that makes me really sad? I know I talked very highly of Patrik Sean last time. Still love the song. I can replay all the songs from tonight in my head. I cannot for the life of me remember how Tears Run Dry goes. It kind of went in and then kind of went out, which is really sad because it's a great song, but I don't think it had that thing that made it stuck in my head. Does that make sense? And again, it was a very, very strong semifinal, and I'm just happy he didn't come last. That's just a win itself. But yeah. Did you guys like the show, by the way? Did you understand anything what happened? Because
Actually, I liked the heat first, but this one was more like funnier, kind of.
I so wish you guys spoke Swedish, because I'm gonna say this, and I'm proud of this statement. I'm staying for this statement. Melfest 2021 semifinal 2 is the best semifinal we've ever had in Melfest history. This is a big statement. It was so good. It was so funny. This is what I want Melfest to be. So entertaining. I was laughing so much. And I want to see it again tomorrow. And I've never done that. I've never seen a semifinal again, I think. But I'm so watching this again tomorrow. It was just relaxed. It was nothing like, they had a lot of jokes that I did not think SVT would actually approve of. But it was so funny. It was so good. They did Oscar and Alice did a great job. It was amazing. Yeah. And I hope you guys enjoyed it too, even though I don't know if you understand what they were saying.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue what they were saying, but they were executing everything to a point where I didn't need to, like the looks and the different tones and stuff. That's why I'd really like SVT to have like subtitles or like a, because I think Finland
I said that
before. Yeah, Finland are doing it in English and Russian and another language with their national final, because they've caught on that, you know, international viewers want to get involved. We have for years. And I thought that SVT would have clicked by now to get some English commentary or other language commentary.
Or just just subtitles. I mean, like, even, I would just be fine with the closed captioning would be nice. I remember one year I thought that it was like rumored that they were going to do it, and then I never heard it like brought up again, and so I just was like, okay, you know.
I mean, at least
but
add it after.
Maybe too expensive as well.
I mean,
well,
like,
I was
show to like air tomorrow on the web with subtitles, so people can watch it again with subtitles. Because it's hard if it's live, but like add it afterwards. That could be a thing, right?
Yeah, but I mean, well, people do it. I mean, there's plenty of, like, in America, like we have, you can watch, like, there are people literally doing closed captioning, and they'll have people who do like Spanish. Typically is, you know, like this, you know, that's going to be the language that they would most likely do in the States, and they do it like live. But one thing I was going to say, so Dora picked, it's not Nina Kralik. Have y'all heard it? Have y'all heard the song?
You just need to check it. Who won?
Yeah,
I've heard it. It's called TikTok, right?
Oh,
yes. The comments. It's the TikTok song, which I'm surprised at. I think Croatia is going to be staying in the semi-final this year based on that. I thought that Nina's song is what Croatia maybe needed. It had culture. It had a seasoned performer to do it. I don't know what the staging looked like, but
I saw that. It was weird.
Someone just said Lisa's not gonna like it.
Yeah, are we gonna watch it?
Oh, am I not gonna like it?
A comment said that you're like, she's not gonna like this.
Let me see. Well, hold on. Yeah, let me see. Well, hold on, Julia. I have a question. So, what do you haven't mentioned? You didn't talk about Daughter and Anton going direct to the final. Yeah, what do you think? As a Swede, how do you feel about Anton and Daughter going direct to the final?
I'm not surprised because for some reason in Melfest, speaking of Anton, if you're young and you're a guy and you can dance, you're going through. Doesn't matter what the song sounds like. It's just people want to see it. And it's the teens. They love that sort of stuff. They have a massive part when it comes to them qualifying. It was good. I liked it. It was very catchy. Loved Daughter's song. Oh my God. Little Tot, so good. Loved it. Loved it. Do I see it winning? I don't, maybe. I mean, the Swedes love it. Such appealing to the Swedes. Appealing to the rest of the world, I don't know. Because you guys didn't.
I need to picture. I need to picture this Alesia's face. Doing.
Yeah, I mean, Croatia had 14 songs, and why was this one the winner? I do need to check out the live performance to see if there was something that.
You know what? I was very criticized over YouTube. I was criticized super hard over YouTube because I was criticizing their national selection over songs because I think they can do much better. They can do just much better. They chose this. Well, the semifinal is weird, so we'll see what the other countries will bring. But well, that's all I'm saying about it.
Yeah, the song is not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. But the vocal is not competent. She's not carrying the song at all vocally. At least we have staging, so I'll give them a kudos for that. I mean, I don't love it. I mean, I haven't even really listened to it because I'm still kind of listening to y'all, so I'm sort of doing two things at once. But it doesn't seem awful. One Touch, low key, was worse to me because I mean, it started out flat. You know what I mean? This didn't start off flat. It's just dancing and flat in a couple of places.
Yeah, it's like the average selection, I would say, in general. And that's maybe the problem.
Yeah, I don't think none of the 14 really stood out to me, like from the snippets. You know, there's usually a few that I'm like, this has potential. And I don't know if it's because I already know Colors. We all know that song has been passed around Malta, Bulgaria. We know that song. So I don't know.
I didn't know it.
Oh, you don't?
No, I didn't.
I think Michaela's demo was going round. Polly's demo went round. So I think a lot of Euro fans knew it. So we were gravitating towards it. But I thought Nina was coming for the win there. But let's see.
Yeah. Well, so this one. So yeah, let's talk. Well, let's have a little current state of Eurovision conversation. Anyone have a favorite song right now for Eurovision?
The Roop and the show. Both of them, I love them both. And of course, the Czech song. Actually, that's a bit tease because I heard it a million times already, and I will put my review tomorrow on my YouTube exclusively because they're releasing it on Tuesday, but I was allowed to do it. And just may tell you that forget Kemama completely.
Oh.
Well, then that makes me nervous because I like K-Mama, so.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh. Double ooh.
I mean, so for me, I still haven't listened to Discotheque, but to be honest, I feel like I'm going to like it. So that's why I'm just sort of like, I'll get to it when I get to it because I think I'm going to like it. And I think it's probably going to be my favorite because as much as I do like Voila, ultimately, like, I just think there's other things that I'm going to like more than Voila, like as, you know, the season goes on. But I love Ukraine's song because I had heard that before. So to me right now, like I would say, even though I haven't heard the Roop song, it's probably going to be my number one when I hear it, just because I kind of know my style. And And so I feel like it's probably going to be my number one. But then Ukraine is probably like my number two, with like France as my third right now. Yeah, I say that. I say that comfortably. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, the same here. Like, if I can just choose from what it's released officially, it's definitely the same. Like the group, Ukraine, and the France. But we just had like 5 songs released, or 6, so it's not.
I can tell you what my least favorite is too.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you're gonna do it too, aren't you?
My least favorite is Set Me Free. I like Albania more than Set Me Free.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, me neither. For me, it's Albania.
No. At least Albania is giving me something different. Israel is just giving me real middle of the road, and I'm disappointed. And I'm sad for Eden.
Yeah, me too.
Did you prefer the other songs, the 2 other songs that she was?
Not really.
There were some better choices for sure.
Yeah, there were better choices, but I still think at least Albania is giving me something different.
Albania,
Elliot's Elliot says, have you heard Goa? Yeah, so Ukraine is definitely my number 2 right now, for sure.
They're good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think, hands down.
I'm having a conflict of differentiating which songs I like to listen to on Spotify and which songs I like to visually watch. You know, as I'm getting older, I'm like having that divide. Like, I loved the Ukrainian music video. I love the song, but I will not listen to that on Spotify, but I will be so happy to watch it as a performance. Same with Vola. I think it's beautiful, and I think I love what she did with the staging, but I wouldn't put it on. Whereas with Eden, Set Me Free, I would listen to that. So at the moment, I'm finding it hard to place the songs. So I don't know if I have a favorite. The one I've played the most and like watching is Lithuania's. And I'm surprised at myself because I wasn't the biggest fan of On Fire, but what they've done this year is just stepped it up and taken note. They've done their homework and they've come back with an absolute banger.
Julia, what's your kind of current favorites and ranking? Not like there's that much to rank, but
so many songs. Oh my god. Actually, I haven't listened that much to any of them. None of them has stood out to me in a way of I'm downloading this, I'm listening to it. I've heard the Ukrainian song once, and I liked it. Very good. Love Lithuania song. That was the root so good. But I just haven't listened to them that much. I don't know why. I'm a bad Eurovision fan. I'm sorry. I've been so focused on Melfest recently. That's all I'm thinking about these days. But definitely, I think The Roof is not my number 1 right now, followed by Ukraine. And then Set Me Free, my number 3. Francis, I haven't heard that much of. But again, I agree with Miceal, is that I would rather watch the performance or watch the video, rather than just listening to the song. At least now. But usually I'm the one who sit like a week before Eurovision starts and just like listen the crap out of all the songs. But I should be better at listening to them prior, the ones who are already out. I need to be a better Eurovision fan. I need to step up my game.
Well, I want us to get into somewhat of a close, just to put a pin on Melodifestivalen. And so, like, do y'all have like a top 3 for Melfest right now of the songs that have advanced, or 3 songs that you're really liking? And I think this is the times when I start thinking in my brain of like, is it really a strong year or not? And sort of, like, is it a strong year or not if I can kind of definitively say, like, ooh, I really like these songs. And I think right now, because I always have like my Melodifestivalen playlist, like right now, I don't feel my heart pounding to listen. This is rare for me. I don't feel my heart pounding of like, oh, I've gotta like stream this right now. With any, like, I feel very kind of like, I want to like sit back and almost listen. I almost want to wait till I get all the songs, which is rare for me. Like normally I would have already been like, oh no, I'm on like all these songs from like Simi 1. I'm on all these songs from like Simi 2. I can't wait to like kind of makeshift put together like my playlist. But I don't know. So where are y'all at? Like what are your like maybe top 3 songs that you're just like, I've got to listen to right now from Melodifestivalen? I have a 3, but I'll go last.
So the song that I'm listening to the most in general on Spotify this week is surprise. I don't know if it's a surprise. Kariatsu One Touch. You know, I've said it. I'll say it again. The studio version slaps. It just wasn't delivered or executed very well on stage by the artist. But that's not my top 3. My top 3 favorite songs so far have been Arvin Garna, Julia, help me out. Arvin Garna, yeah. Daughter, and maybe New Religion. Will I say that? Yeah, but all the ones that I like aren't on Spotify yet, which is why I haven't really been streaming them as much. But I'm excited for next week. I think it's good. For me, it's the one that I can't. Well, I thought I could place this week's, but I didn't. Next week seems anyone's kind of game for AC or direct to final. What about you guys?
Well, I do the same as Alicia. I'm doing great, guys. I don't listen to the songs until they're all out. Like when actually the playlist of Melfa song is all out. Like even the ones going to the final. I don't know why. I just don't. I just wait until they're all kind of out there. But my favorite so far is Lil Tot. That's my favorite so far. Such a good song. Love it. I'm getting more into Danny's song. I didn't like it really first, and it's kind of childish, but it's kind of makes me happy. And third one.
And I'm really talking about the songs that are advancing. You know, so I see some people talking about like fingerprints in the comments and stuff, but I'm really thinking like, is there like a top 3 at Melfest, you know, that are advancing that we can kind of keep on our minds, like moving forward too?
I mean, I think Anton, Daughter, and Danny are like the, you know, I've talked to a lot of people. We love them as a band, and we want them to be a part. But that was their weakest song they've ever done. A lot of people keep saying that was not a good song. I still don't like that song. It's just, I love them, funny, but I Do was 1,000 times better. This was just kind of, meh. I think they're gonna get last in the final. And I haven't even heard the rest of it. Like, it's only 4 people so far. I think they're going to get last. I'm glad they're there, but I don't think they're gonna do so well because that was not a good song from them. Harsh, but that's what I think.
Well, and for me, it's a split. If I can choose what I will listen on streaming platforms, not watching the live show, which it's very different. It was probably the Little Tot because it just really works. The song works, even whatever generic, whatever it is, it's a great sound. Live performance, not really. I wouldn't choose it. I have a problem to choose for almost everything. I'm probably not there still to have like 3 songs, but I probably like this metal band, this Lila Sister, because that was just a proper thing. I think kind of, or not original, not new, but it was generous what they do. So, and it was great performed. I think even. I'm not sure if I would want it to win. And then, of course, there was a Paul Ray. That was a great staging, great performance, I think, kind of. Not a winner one as well. And Dandy Danza from Danny Saucedo. Well, you know, I admire how he remembered the whole staging. That was super complicated, funny thing to see, to watch. I didn't need to understand the lyrics to have fun. I don't really think that's a great song, but the way how he sold it, it was just good. It was good. I believe in it, and I as well can admire the skill how he done it because you know I was directing few stagings already, and I know how hard it is to tell artists how to do it perfectly. Of course, Sweden is somewhere else in this mythology all around, but it's still very hard, and it just had to cost like tens, maybe hundreds of hours to remember all of it, because it was looking so natural and perfect, and not that perfect that I will say that it was, you know, artificial. It was just perfect in a perfect good way. So that's what I admire. Even I wouldn't probably never ever listen to the song ever anywhere.
No, I'm glad that I don't have to hear it for 3-4 weeks, to be honest. Like, I love watching the show, but I'm okay with not hearing it. Like, I'm not dying to hear it again.
Mama,
Tell us how you really feel. Well, I have to say, so for me, the 3 songs that I'm probably like favoring right now are probably like Anton, Daughter, and Little Sister. Those are probably the 3 songs at Melodifestivalen that I'm favoring. But with that said, and I'm going to throw up this comment to close out from Joey. So, and some were waiting for the mamas to save Melfest this year. And I'm not going to lie. We've got 2 weeks in, and even with Daughter, with love, even with Daughter, I love Little Tot. And I think I've said this before, like, to me, she's just an artist that, like, I just like that music, and I'm going to listen to it, and like, I'm just into it. But I think the mamas still have I think it's a wide open field. I don't think that there's like a runaway hit that we've really heard. I mean, Daughter's pretty close, like, because Little Tot's just, I think, really well produced. But I definitely think the mamas have the ability to come in and just take it again.
Because they have the soul, you know, they have something which is very different from everything else. Even it's a cliche what they do, it's just the X factor, you know, kind of touchable thing you can't describe.
Yep. So thank y'all so much for joining me, and thank you for joining this live stream. It's been an hour. I want to give everyone a last word, but before I do that, on all of my live streams, I say this, I want to just say thank you so much for tuning in. We've got tons of people that have pretty much been consistently watching. Every comment, every like, every subscribe is so meaningful. Like, I live for it. If you're watching this and you aren't subscribed, what are you doing? Welcome. Hello. Subscribe. What are you waiting for? You want this content. I mean, in times like these, we need more content. And don't forget to follow Jan here. I'm gonna edit the description and put all of that info there. And obviously, Julia and Miceal from Eurovision Hub. Any last thoughts, y'all?
Yeah, just thank you for inviting me. It was a great experience to doing such a thing live. It was great. And of course, just a bit of a thing, watch my channel tomorrow, because I will have the review of the Benny song. So if you don't want to miss it, just watch it and subscribe. Alesia, she deserves it.
And I want to say, apologizing for coming in late, but I just want to say, love Little Tot. I don't think we've heard the Melfest winner yet. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
New Corgi on the next week.